Right. We are live. So we are back. This is part two. If you have not watched how we got back together after being divorced, you want to watch that first so that all of this makes sense. Um, and we've actually switched places. We just gonna leave it because
And sorry for any glitching you might encounter.
yeah. So our software, our studio is processing our live that we just did, and this will get uploaded probably today's Sunday, Wednesday or Thursday. I think it's when we probably Wednesday. So this will get uploaded. So as of right now, it's processing. So if there's any glitches, that is why. So if you watched the last one, we ended with talking about communication being open books. Um, and my biggest thing, like right now, I think our the second and third live we did, we talked about a show called Fiance or Family or Fiance.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we watched I forgot what episode it was, but it was from season two. And we talked about that. And then of course it was binge worth worthy. So we started watching we went back and was watching episode or season one. And we've watched four of those shows, I believe.
Mm-hmm. And we're gonna watch some more. So
Yes, because the one so me, I have what I consider a um psychology background. So I went to school for psychology. I did not finish because I was a young mother with no help. And so I did not finish, but that is what interests me. And so on my channel on Talk About It Takina, there is the newer videos are going to be talking about relationships, psychology, self-love, that whole niche. And big part of that of this show that interests me is just the dynamic of how people communicate and understanding on a deeper level. So the biggest part that I started off many years ago, I'm talking when I was like in middle school, high school, I started studying zodiacs. I'm like, what does it mean that I'm a Taurus? Someone said that to me and I'm like, what does that mean? And so I started looking into it, and I'm talking like a 5 inch 3 ring binder of each zodiac sign and everything I could find about them. Anytime I could print something, at school, I was typing in, I was printing and putting in that binder. And so when I got older, I was telling my friend about it. She was a Capricorn. She's like, "Oh, about a Cap." And so I was telling her everything I knew, and she's like, "That's right, that's true." And so for years, I thought that that was it. I thought if someone said, "Oh, you're a Taurus and you're a Sagittarius," that that's what it was, and you had to fit the description of what it said. And it wasn't until the last few years that I understand that we have a birth chart, and the birth chart really breaks down who we are as individuals. So if you're in a room with five Tauruses, it is guaranteed that those five Tauruses are nothing alike because their birth chart is going to be completely different. So on my channel, I break that down. But when I'm looking at this show and I see how these people are interacting and how they're communicating or lack thereof, it really interests me to dig deeper to find out who they are um, on a personal level. Because, again, as we ended it, talking about it all boils down to communication. Um, so, what would be your thoughts, baby, on our communication prior to my dad's passing versus our communication after, even leading up until now? What would you say?
uh, what would I say? How our communication is I definitely know and feel that it's better. Um, even what a few days ago, maybe a week ago, I was like, always felt like, when you were saying our communication sucks, it went down, and I'm thinking to myself, it didn't go down. We always could. we always had conversations. So that's why I was basing it off of. But I'm guessing, or I just see that you meant that the communication went down because even though we're communicating, nothing was being birthed from the communication. So, but as of right now, like we bomb.com, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I have no complaints. Like, yeah, like you said in the last video, you need attention. Yeah, yeah, feeling melancholy. What's the word? Melancholy or whatever, where I just was, but that was only due to the fact that at that time she was like into she was studying or doing something where something else had her time, and I understood that, but that didn't make me feel any less what I was feeling, but I understood. But when she asked, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but
Um,
overall, our communication is great. I love it.
what would you, so if you had to give, let's say, because we watched four couples yesterday. We watched uh episode or season one, episode 1 through 4. So we watched Shocky and Chris, which were the dreadhead couple. The girl was she had the blonde dreads, and she was younger, like she was 22. He
22,
was
and you liked her.
I did. You ain't got to throw me out there like that.
Oh, I ain't
Um,
throwing you out there like that.
let
I'm
me
coming with
correct.
you.
Let me correct you on what I'm saying. She is very pretty, and she just had a a a,
Yeah.
a oh, I don't even know how to explain it. She was,
Genuine, wholesome.
yeah, she had a very genuine spirit about her. Um, then we watched a couple, Ashley and Karan, and that was his family was very religious, and she was very
Oh
not.
yeah.
And so she's like, I just got done drinking a beer, like, and he's like, shh, he didn't want his image of his himself um he didn't want his parents to see him as not being Christian and whatever, and that the fact that he was with this girl that was hood and whatever else. They have been together for 3 years. He never had an issue until it was time for them to be in front of his parents. So, and her mom had been with her girlfriend for 9 years. So her mom was a lesbian. So that was a whole issue for him by itself. Um, then we watched episode 3, which was Felicia and Chris, and his parents were extremely. That was he was African, so he had an African background. The mom was, saying, "I come before your girlfriend. You build me a closet before you built her a closet. I'm the number one person in your life." The uncle had said that let us fix you, as if something was wrong with him. um and then the last one we watched was Amber and Justin. That was the couple that, he was really violent and just didn't take anything serious. um was cheating on her. She couldn't He proposed to her, but he had stipulations of she couldn't go on the phone, she couldn't uh, communicate with him while he was watching sports, and come to find out he was cheating on her with a girl that liked sports. So that was their time together, and she couldn't interrupt. Um, so with those four episodes that we watched and talking about communication, where do you see that those couples either were successful in their communication or failed on their communication?
Um. Uh. The ratchet and the spirit. Religion.
Ashley and
They.
Kiran.
Yeah. They communication failed miserably. Um. And the fact of, like, especially when you're planning on getting married, like all that they went through should have been talked out or whatever in the first year. Way, 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 I feel, but way before they got engaged, because he was hiding. I feel like he was hiding everything that made him who he is compared to what he like.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in doing that, what you like and the foundation that you grew up in, the religion that you grew up in, you need to make a conscious choice. Yes, this is my religion, but I like doing this, doing that, and the other. And, your family and friends got to be okay with it, you know. But he lived, when it wasn't his family, he was living for himself and he enjoyed every bit of it. But when it came down to the nitty gritty, he was living for his family. He still wasn't living for your family. I'm gonna say it's not okay, because at the end of the day, your family is still gonna be your family, whether or not whatever, and they should love you for whatever and whoever you choose to want to spend your life with. Hell, if you like laying on the top of your roof butt naked, your family should not disown you just because you like laying on top of your roof butt naked. Because he's with a hood chick that does everything that he like. Why, like, why do you feel like your family, that she needs to basically not be herself just for your family to like her? Like, if you don't live for you, then you're dying for somebody else. I'm gonna be honest. My
Yeah.
baby lived for her, I live for me, and together we live for each other. I'm not trying to change her, although if one of them things do arise, then at that. But anyway,
Please share.
oh no, no, no,
No?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
But
okay.
anyway, I don't. Yeah, the communication for them two was bad. Um, the last one that we saw,
And
uh,
that she was really skinny and
well,
he
no, that also the communication was bad. The dreads, that communication wasn't bad, not as the other two. And then the one with the tattoos with the kids, that just that was a race car, and or a microwave, as our old pastor used to say. That was a microwave going up against a crock pot, and their relationship should have been a crock pot instead of a microwave. It moved too quick.
you talking about the older couple?
Fresh out of divorce, and they got it together and whatnot, had the kids.
Yeah,
that
I can't remember.
that went too quick. But the other two,
Oh, Lysandra and Julian.
yeah.
So we watched 5 episodes.
But it just proves that show just proves communication is key. But it also proves being yourself is way more happier than trying to put up facades. And yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think Honestly, a lot of it comes down to some people wanting to be wanted, so they'll accept whatever someone's offering them. I think that was the case with Amber and Justin. Her dad had just passed. She was dealing with that emptiness. And this Justin dude had been around, but I think the fact that her dad passed, he took advantage of that for the worse. Um, the I think the only relationship that really worked out with all of that was Felicia and Chris. Um, they're I can't remember how long they have been together. A lot of these couples seem like they're 1 or 2 years in and they're already getting engaged. And I think, hell, for us, we didn't rush, obviously. Um,
But I mean, there's there's plenty people where 2 years is more than enough time to get to know each other and get to know that if you want to marry them or not.
Maybe, but I think a lot of times, again, like how I was explaining astrology, like you think it's just surface, and it's so much deeper than that. So with relationships and getting to know someone, you think, oh, I see you in the physical, so that's all I need to know you. Instead of understanding on a deeper level of what makes this person tick, what sets them off, what triggers do they have, what traumas do they have. Understanding those things is a deeper level. And I think, yeah, maybe it can be done within 2 years, but you have to be willing to communicate that and put everything on the table at the very beginning. Because so many people think, oh, we'll get married and we'll be live happily ever after, and that's just not the case. Especially if you
Right.
don't up about the things that may trigger you. Um, you may not like ice cream, and then you may not like ice cream for whatever reason, and then someone goes and buys you ice cream because they think that that's what you like, without getting to know the deeper root of ice cream triggers you for whatever weird reason. Now they didn't just trigger you. Now you're mad at them because they got you ice cream and they don't know why.
Yeah.
But if you
And go ahead.
what if y'all would have had that conversation in the very beginning, or even for us when we started talking again and we had that 2 weeks of really just throwing everything on the table, when you start opening that door, even if it's not something that's on the forefront of your mind, once you start having those deeper conversations, those things will come out and you'll be able to conversate about it at some point.
And just to throw in there also, if you're thinking that having a baby or getting married is going to change the other person, it's not. It's not. If you think that way, then you're just really setting yourself up for failure and heartbreak.
Yeah, because
Uh, Kids don't keep a man, and marriage don't make a man or a woman act right. It just don't. If it ain't there in the beginning, it won't be there after.
they have to be willing on their own. And if someone is telling you flat out they're not, either they're saying I'm not marriage material, or they're saying I don't believe in marriage, I don't want nothing to do with marriage, marriage is something that I will never do, do not try and force that person to see it otherwise. Number one, you can find out why they feel that way and maybe give suggestions. Like if someone says, oh, I'm not marriage material, or I don't believe in marriage, find out why they feel that. It may be something within themselves that childhood, either they saw something or they felt something within themselves they couldn't live up to what the expectations of marriage. For years I was against marriage. I said it's just a piece of paper, I want nothing to do with it, it's just a piece of paper. And to some degree that's true, but my thought process on it and the reason why I was saying that had nothing to do religion as much as it had to do with people just get married and still go and do the same things they're going to do with or without that piece of paper. So I felt like if you're going to get married, that piece of it means nothing to you. It's literally just another piece of paper. But obviously my feelings have changed being that I've done it twice now to the same person. I like saying
Yeah,
that.
we only done it twice. Yeah.
Only you say only like
Well, I was talking about sexual.
get out of here.
I know.
Any um so yeah, so that's my thought is I know someone's particularly I'm yawning now. Don't fault me. I did good on the first one. Um I know someone specifically that this person is in a relationship with someone who flat out said he'll never get married. I will never get married. It's not going to happen. And I know that this person is saying it because they believe marriage is sacred for two people, but he's not willing to settle down and be with just one person. He's not willing to be faithful and be committed. And so this woman is trying to force this man to see that she is marriage material. She's trying to force him to believe that they can do that he doesn't need me for all your needs and we can get married. And I just think that is a whole setup for destruction.
Yeah. And I know what relationship you're talking about. Like they could possibly flourish if they understood and accepted poly.
Well, that comment was kind of made. It's been insinuated that she'll just accept, and I mean, honestly, you can say that that's what they're doing just without putting a title on it because she has accepted the behavior as long as she's content at home.
Yeah, but it's still causing stress,
That she can't speak on.
and that's causing stress. So all that for what? Like, it's not worth it. Stress in your relationship is not worth it.
No,
I mean, it's just not last video. My wife said that yeah, I am pro polygamy, po-
poly-
polygamy, or basically I'm okay with multiple wives or whatever have you. Um, and that was one of my things. Like I when I got back up into Minnesota and whatnot, trying to better myself, find myself even more, and learning and all that stuff. I came across that and I understood it, and it just is stuck.
keep going.
Oh, you got to dig in your nose. I know it's all good,
No,
baby. Nope, it's all good. Um, so I understood that, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be for it. I'm gonna be for it. And so when I did find the come in contact with my the girl that I was in a relationship with right before me and my wife got back together, like I thought I found, you know, I was like, okay, cool. I found a girl that actually liked girls probably more than men, but I was for it. And I was like, oh snap, it's about to happen. But it didn't, but that doesn't change my views on poly. And to be honest with you, my views on poly is not sexual. Like
yeah,
when you sit back and you think about three people coming together for the greater good of the household. Okay, so let's say for instance, you got two people, you know, they, you know, almost damn near working paycheck to paycheck just to cover rent these days. You know, especially for if you're not in a high paying job, like your rent is 12 to 1500. You're only getting paid, let's say 1,000, and your partner is getting paid, let's say 1,000. That's $2,000. Okay, yes, rent, but then you have car notes, gas, phone bill, insurance, lights, not to mention food, clothes. And if you got kids, that's even more less. But let's just say one more person came in with $1,000. That gives a little bit more wiggle room. So instead of paying 1,500 for two, split that into thirds. Now your rent only becomes 500 $500 a piece. Bam. That means you got 500 left over. Now, so that means that's 1,500 that can be put into savings. And then the next check, that's 3,000, pay the other bills. And then the next month, in 3 months, you will have what? 15 plus 15, that's $4,500. You know what I'm saying? Like, and what can you do with $4,500? You can invest it. You can start that business. Say, for instance, one person has a business plan. Bam, everybody, three people working towards that business plan to help that business grow up. Did you hear that?
I did.
I'm sorry, but just say that it oh, people, females walking on the ice. Um
I thought somebody was in the house with you. I was about to go Holly without me.
oh, say what? Did you say I'm doing poly without you? No, not without you. You the
Yeah,
you the head. You the head.
I know.
I, I wouldn't even like, and she know that I told her I give her the power. Like, if a female came up to me and was down for it or whatever, they have to go through her. Like, if she's not feeling it, then I'm not feeling it.
Do you
Um,
know, do you know that that was Kevin Gates and Drika's kind of like their situation? Like he could cheat on her, but she had to give permission.
yeah, I don't know about. I didn't know that, but I'm yeah that.
He
But
said
see
a lot.
that part, like I'm not a cheater. Yes, I can cheat, but what's the point? What's the point? Um, in term put, I was about to say, but P is P, you know, and it's like, what's the point? Like, I'm at that age and that mindset. Let's build something. So let's say, all right, you have a business. You don't have to be alone in trying to get that business off the ground. Now you got me trying to help you get that business off the ground. And just think, now there's a third person trying to help you get that business off the ground. And then bam, it gets off the ground. Now we move on to the next one. After that, the next one. Now there's three people in a relationship under one roof with three businesses, which means bam, come next year, if there's another business, now there's six businesses under one roof. Not only that, like, breaking generational curses with each family. Like, okay, now you're putting your siblings on. I'm putting my siblings on. The third person putting their siblings on. you know, and that's how I see it. Like, and I know that most people think, oh, in a poly relationship, um, the women got to sleep with each other. It's no, no. There's plenty of poly relationships where they don't sleep with each other. Is it an option? I'm pretty sure it is an option, but no, it's not. It's just they understand that they have their turns. Not to mention when you hear the men talk about it, like now now my wife can vouch for it. So if she was going out with her friends, and I feel like her friends are ratchet and whatever's whoever got the biggest bank or whoever looking good, they going. If that's how I'm feeling, that's how I'm feeling. But just think that for a lot of the men, they be like, she's going out with her girlfriend, her friend, that I know is gonna be one okay. They got each other's back. It ain't gonna be no oh, I'm a how friends do, women do, you know, they have some type of animosity towards the other person or whatever. You got a good relationship, so I'm mad at you, and now I'm drunk. Now we fighting. You know what I'm saying? Um, hell, she want to go on. They want to go on the girls' trip. She got her road dog. Bam! I know they in good hands. You know what I'm saying? Not to mention, if they get drunk and they need to be picked up, I ain't gotta do multiple trips. It's just one trip, and that's it. Like, not to mention, say for instance, if I'm working 12-hour days and I know my baby is home, the kids, let's just say kids, like we have younger kids, she's tearing her she's tearing her hair out, her wig out because the kids is getting on her nerve.
And
There's a
we
second, huh?
pause the kid. We beyond.
Well, I'm just saying for if there's some younger people, you know, there's a second person there to help out with the kids. Now, I've said this on Twitter, like what if the saying it takes a village to raise a kid or whatever have you. What if they really meant the village is really your house, your household? Like there's three adults that can help out with the kids. Hell, with the homework, with the housework. It's just it's just a whole lot of stress relief. That's all I can say. And I feel good that I'm able to even talk about it and that my wife is understanding of it. Now, is she going? No, but as you heard in the last one, said not yet. So you never really know. There's always a possibility for everything. And
I'm just.
plus, she did say she thought the girl was cute. So,
I've complimented lots of females.
and she always get females complimenting on her, like thinking her booty is fake and whatnot, and is real. Going to the strip club and she get more play than I do, and I'm paying for the lap dances. How that work? I'm not getting a lap dance, but she getting a lap dance, and now I gotta pay for it. But nah, I got the baddest thing walking.
You do.
Hmm. Well, now that I don't know if I've ever expressed it or explained it to detail like that. What do you think?
I think that if we keep talking about it, we're gonna have to do a part three. Outside of that, sorry, I'm eating nuts.
No, no problem. Well, I got a question too. Like, okay, with that or whatever. Okay, so a lot of women may feel like, well, a man is gonna cheat anyway. A man is gonna cheat. You hear it all the time. A man is gonna cheat anyway. But what if you was a female, what if you said, you know what, I know my man gonna cheat or whatever, or have sex with somebody else. But the understanding that, hey, if he even do have sex with somebody else, at least I know that that person is clean. That person knows me. I know that person. And I know that if anything, he got somebody that got his back just like I got his back. I don't know. That's what I'm saying? Like,
Well, let's use a prime example of oh, what couple was it that had the ex-girl, the best friend that was there was actually the ex-girlfriend?
that was
Was that the
uh
ghetto girl? That was the ghetto girl because she was
yeah,
cooking. She was like, "Ooh, you is looking cute over there."
yeah.
So for that example, he didn't know her ex-girlfriend. What was that noise?
Police, the siren.
I'm like, I know I got noises going on over here. You
Yeah.
guys got some creepy noises going over there. Um, he told her ex-girlfriend until the show. Hearing everything that you just said, I'm not gonna say that it leans me. Ooh, I'm gonna do it. What I The reason why I brought up the girl that had the her friend was actually her ex-girlfriend. The reason why I'm saying that is because she still considered her like a best friend. And
Mm-hmm.
I in a relationship like that, it has to be best friends. You have to trust that person not only with yourself, but with your significant other that y'all are going to be sharing. Y'all have to have the same mindset of we're trying to start a business or we're trying to live lavish in Las Vegas. The mindset has to be there or else it's never going to work. So for me, if I ever leaned in that direction, now the reason why I could easily say that I'm not for it is because my husband's never been one to cheat. Has he come close to it? Absolutely. We've already talked about that. He's come close to it because of his needs were not being met and we didn't have the communication to speak on it. So he's never really cheated. I felt comfortable in knowing that he may have come close, he may have crossed the line, he may have put people or women, I'll say specifically women, in a position that I felt like don't give her the power to fix your plate for you, knowing that you're very um anti germs and whatnot. You letting someone else handle your food, that to me is a red flag. So we've had those moments where it's come close, where it's like, okay, mm, I I see red flags. Something's wrong with this picture. I know you, so I can sit here comfortably and say, even if I'm not for poly, I'm not worried about my husband cheating on me. I've never been worried about you really cheating. You know what I'm saying? So men always gonna cheat doesn't really apply to you, right? But you being a man, you're gonna look how we've looked together. We've been in the
Yeah.
mall looking at females. Um,
That, hey, I'm telling you, I got a good one because I it was one time where I was like scared, and she was like, "Baby, look at her ass. Do you think mine is that big, or whatever happened?" But we both was looking. I'm like, we are actually looking at a female's backside. Like, this is so cool, so cool. The kid come out. This is so cool. This is radical, dude. This is like,
I mean, I told you the story of
but
what
I
I did.
loved it. Oh,
I told you the story of what I did to my kid's dad. So my kid's dad, we were not together. So let me preface it with that. We weren't together, but We were going to the mall for some reason. I can't remember. And he saw this girl, these two girls that he was interested in. He thought I was going to have an issue with it. We're not together. So I walked up to the girl and was like, he's really feeling you. And I talked him up to the girl. They exchanged numbers and everything. And he was just like, what the hell just happened? Hell, it was probably someone he later on cheated with, cheated on me with. I would never know and I really don't care. But I've never been,
So what you just said is that when that happened, y'all wasn't together, but did y'all get together after that?
I honestly, I can't tell you. I just know it was a really long time ago and it was at a point where we were somewhat cool with each other to be going to a mall together. So maybe it could have been a time that we were living together, but he was just the roommate. So he was sleeping downstairs. I want to say that might have been it because we were at the mall also with his best friend, and his best friend came around a lot of times towards the end of our relationship. So it's very possible um that we were still whatever
Dealing with
living.
each other.
Yeah. So I'm not against it. At the end of the day, I'm not worried about you cheating. Like, we're in different states. We both could cheat. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not, I'm 1,000% not worried about this man cheating. Um, and the reason being is I'm confident in the fact that I meet his needs, communication, all of that. Um, we reassure each other. So to answer your question of how I feel about what you just said, again, I'm not against it. I'm just I have to be sold. At the end of the day, I can't speak for men because I feel like when it comes to men, a man on man situation is looked at different than a female liking a female. Have I looked at females and been like, she's cute? We literally in watch the show and I'm like, that girl is cute. Like, I like her personality. I want to be friends with her. The second girl, the hood girl, I was like, I need a friend like that. Like, he's like, do you like her like that too? No, I just want to be friends with her because she she was the mindset wasn't there, but her energy was cool. So I would have to, if we ever went there, would have to legit be someone that I would look at as a best friend. Like, I would go on a girls trip and bring her with me on my best friend girls trip. If I can't do that and I feel like, oh, you trying to take my, and we've talked about this, so what I'm saying is nothing new. The first thing I said that I was against it is I don't like to share. The second thing I said is the fact of if we get to a place financially where we're living it up and doing it, what the hell do we need a third person for if we're already where we want to be financially? We don't need their help financially.
Right.
So,
True.
purpose. If it's just something fun to do, and that person still would add resources to what we're doing, then that's different. But again, it has to be someone that I'm like wanting to be around on a friendship level. Like, we have
Mhm.
to be best friends.
Right.
It has to be someone that we're hanging with regular. We get to know. So, like you said, okay, this person is clean. I need to know that that person's lifestyle and the way they handle themselves, I don't have to doubt. Like, I'm not gonna put nobody out there, but there's people that I know of that their lifestyle you would doubt, are they clean, because of their mindset and what they do or what they allow to happen to them. So I'm not, it wouldn't be an overnight thing of, ooh, I seen this girl, let's bring her home.
Yeah.
It would be, let's get to know this person, see where their head's at. But for me, it's not like, oh, let's go to this club and bring a girl home. It's, we're sitting at Caribou or we're sitting at Starbucks and there's someone else that's there that's doing the same thing we are. They hear us conversating about business and they want to, oh, well, can I pick your brain about this or that? And then it happens that way. Or like they have poly groups, poly cruises, and it's something that, okay, we're on a cruise. That would be someone that has the same mindset as us because they want to travel.
And I'm in a few poly groups on Facebook.
I bet you are.
Well, yeah, I think
I'm
I
kidding.
told you that, but
I'm
you know, and what you said, yeah, they have poly cruise, poly vacations. Um, but you know what? We can talk about that in part three or just a whole other video to really get into it because we've extensively talked about this stuff to the Vegas place that I'm not gonna say the name unless we do the video.
I'm
Um,
in those places. You're not allowed to.
what?
Oh, are you saying do a part three? We don't
Yeah,
part three. Let's just do a whole new video on that subject.
right, right. That's what I'm saying. Either a part three or just a whole another video. But yeah, we've talked about it, and it's it's definitely like I'm so proud of my baby. Like the mindset, the thing that I'm gonna say, yeah, most men would love to have a female that thinks like you, but I'm glad that you're all mine.
Am I?
All mine. Yes, you are.
I
If
know I.
not, it's gonna be chitty chitty bang bang up and no, I'm just kidding. But that's just that's a part of the love communication that we have that makes me so attracted to you that I could talk about this stuff. Like, and yeah, yeah, it's just it's cool.
Are you blushing?
Yeah, I'm blushing, but I'm also shaking because my phone just gave me the thing about 20% worth of battery life, and I gotta use the bathroom. But
Well,
I
let's
won't.
another hour long video or almost hour. Um, I
But
think
we can regroup later, and talk about it because I'm definitely for it.
and if you guys have watched the video to this point and you're like, who are these people? Why are they in different backgrounds? Whatever. Um, we live in different states right now for various reasons. But we are long distance relationship, but it doesn't. Other than the physical part, it doesn't because we like later on we plan. Well, the plan this weekend was to go on a date. Um, we do different things to stay connected to each other, and it's really just we still live our lives. We still do what we need to do every day, but we um find ways to work on the long distance relationship. So we will be covering tips to make your long distance relationship work, because if you're willing it will work. If a
Yeah.
person or not in that mindset to make it work, it's not going to work. People be like, oh, I can't do the long distance relationship. Well, what are your needs that are not being met to make this not work? Like one of our top love languages is physical touch. We 1,200 some miles away. Ain't no physical touching going on, but we make it work. So if there's a will, there's a way. If someone's like, no, I want someone in person, and the time frame of us getting together is too long for me to wait for you, then they just don't want to. And you have to look at it like, even though like I know I'm a good person, I know what I'm bringing to the table. So if someone's willing to walk away, look at it as a thank you. I just literally had one of my friends tell me that someone she was dealing with went back with their ex, and I'm like, girl, you don't deserve any of that. And he was so quick to run back to his ex that put him where he's at. Then you don't need that. So if someone's willing to walk away and not make it work, then you don't need that in your life at all. Find someone who appreciates and loves you for all that you're bringing to the table. My husband is bringing a lot to the table. I'm bringing a lot to the table. What we bring to the table, we each appreciate it.
Hmm. And it's not, and what's on the table has nothing to do with finances. Because if finances is on the table, that table is has a lot of weak points.
Mhm. If you base
And
it in general off of finances,
mhm.
it won't work. Finances change. You as a person and that person as a person can change, but for the better, and change with each other. Finances can be major one day and minor the next day. Meaning you may have a lot one day and come tomorrow, stock market and took all your money and now you're broke. Then that person's gone.
Or if you're
Gets
an entrepreneur, or you got your business, what happens if your business got electrical fire and now everything up in smoke and now you back down to one income, or that one income is a half income because they work part-time because you was majority of the breadwinner, you know.
well, hopefully they got insurance and the insurance takes care of it.
But then even still, that time frame of getting that money, you know, a lot can happen. But
But
uh,
we're gonna video
say what you was gonna say.
that we're just gonna end this video.
Yeah. Well, I'm your guy, Conic, and that's my
I'm
lovely wife.
talking about Takina. We just talked about it. Catch us in the next one.
Yep. Peace.